Hello.
Hello.
Hello, friends. Welcome. My name is Michelle Lopez. I am the author of Animal Magic Book, A Yoga Tale of Love and Unity. And I'm so excited today because we have our illustrator here today, Alvina Kwong. She just we just decided she would stop by and say hello and share a little bit about her experience writing Animal Magic Book and working with me and just getting to know her and finding out a little bit more about her. So welcome, Alvina.
Hello. Hi, everyone.
So Alvina, will you introduce yourself to our listeners and just tell them a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, so I'm Alvina Kwong, and I'm the illustrator of the book. Um, I was born in Hawaii, and I lived there till I was about 8 years old. And my family decided to move to Southern California. And I grew up most of my life in California. And I remember when I moved, I was a little sad because Hawaii is so beautiful and it's like a fun place. But I was happy that it was California because there's an ocean and beaches here. And that was, I think, as a little kid, it was important to me because I just, love going to the beach and the ocean. And it's just a wonderful place where, you could just relax and just be with nature. And I don't know, it just makes you feel happy.
Yes, yes, it does. And
Yeah.
lately, it's summer. Lately, my daughter and I have been going to the beach, and I've been really appreciating the water and just being out there. It's really nice. So
Yeah, it is. And a lot of times when I'm there, like it's like very calm and that's kind of where I get like a lot of ideas and do my thinking and thoughts like for my art and or just in life in general, I think.
yeah,
And so yeah, like it's a really important place to me. And I just love going there before I do like projects and when I can and just like
yes,
good, thought process for that.
yeah. It really grounds you and centers you, and helps you feel inspired, right?
Yeah, it definitely does. And I'm just glad my parents moved to California because I had a really good opportunity to like take a lot of different classes here. And like growing up, my mom would like take me to different classes like clay class and ceramics and like I think I had to do dance once. And I did not like that. I'm not like that art like I'm not good at, but everything else I could do with my hands. Like I'm good, I'm happy with that. And
Yes.
yeah, like I had a lot of fun opportunities to do that. And then in high school, I took studio art AP, and that was the only AP class I took because the other side of my brain doesn't really do that well. And I had to like work really hard to get like my grades up for those other classes. But art, like that was when I did good in and I could actually be like, yes, I can take an AP class and
Yes.
possibly get an A. Yeah.
Well, being a teacher, we definitely teach kids a lot about writing and math and reading and things like that. And we, of course, teach art, but I think that it's underappreciated, and I think it's just as important as those other subjects. And your advanced placement, as far as I'm concerned.
Thank you.
I think art is amazing, and I think you're really talented. So, you just got to go where your passion is and where you're called, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's a tough world out there, but if you just hold on to what you believe in and make it happen, like it'll work out.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Well, thank you for sharing that about yourself. Um,
Yeah.
so my next question is, are there animals I'm sorry, this is the one I wanted to ask next. Let's talk about your favorite animal. What is your favorite animal?
My favorite animal. That's a tough one because I love like all animals, like all of them, and they're just so fun. Like I just love animals, and I think if I had to narrow it down, it would be like the unicorn plus the horse because they're kind of related. And I'll explain
Yeah.
because when I was a kid, I thought unicorns were real. And when I found out that they weren't, I'm like, okay, well, the next like the next closest animal is a horse,
Yes.
And it was okay because I love horses. And so when I was a kid, like I would, even though I knew like unicorns weren't real, I found out about that. Like they were real in my head, they were real in my imagination. And when I was thinking about things like, they're like going on my head, like jumping over fences or whatever, like little sheep,
Yes.
And so like I kept that alive. But then in reality, like it was the horses, like
Yeah.
they're so beautiful and just, they're so magnificent. I mean, you look at them, they're just like wonderful animals. And
Yes.
yeah, I just love horses.
Yeah, I love what you said about the unicorn and how you didn't even realize that wasn't a real animal. And so what, the horse is the next best thing, right? The horses are absolutely amazing special animals. And you just reminded me that the horse is actually one of my top favorite animals. I absolutely love them. They're very majestic, beautiful creatures. And who says unicorns aren't real?
I know, right?
They're not? No.
I'm pretty sure I've seen one before.
They're just very hidden.
Yes.
They exist in our imaginations, and who says our imagination isn't real, right? It's just another aspect of ourselves, right?
Yeah, totally. I mean, you could make it real. I mean, I was a unicorn for Halloween once, and who knows, I might do it again. Like, it's fun. It's fun to imagine and like make it real or pretend. I mean, it's just a lot of fun. But horses are still good. I mean, at least you could ride a horse and like pet it. And I mean, the sad thing is like, I'm actually allergic to horses. It's so bad. And
allergic. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that could be a problem.
Yeah, no, it is. It's like every time I pet a horse, I'm like, okay, I gotta go wash my hands or don't touch my face because I'll be itchy, But I'm like, I don't care. Like, as long as I can pet the horse and I can ride it and like be next to it, like I'm happy. Like I'm okay dealing with other things. And and that's another thing that like kind of drew me to drawing, because when I was a kid, I couldn't, have a horse, and I didn't have a camera, so I would like capture everything in my sketchbook. And I would just draw, and I'd draw the horses. And, if I couldn't have a horse, at least I could draw one and like put it in my picture book, and just like look at it,
Yes. That's the great thing about art or drawing or writing. You can use your imagination and create things, right? So even though you couldn't have a horse, you could draw them, and you still connect with them, even though they're not actually in your presence, I guess.
Yeah.
So definitely. I have, so horses up there is one of my favorites. Absolutely love them. To me, they're up there with dolphins and whales as far as like, their intelligence and how special they are. I also really love, owl and lion and wolf. And it's really hard to decide, like you said, because it's like trying to pick, like your children. You can't pick because each one is so unique and different. But there are some that sort of we resonate with more. I love the fox too. Fox has been one that I've been like just kind of really liking lately.
Yeah, I like foxes too, and it kind of reminds me of that story, The Fox and the Hound. But like, I know foxes are supposed to be like that, very like sly, like little animal, but like they are, but they're not. Like they're really sweet animals. I mean, if they're just like peaceful, and just like roam around and do their thing in the woods or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know, they're beautiful too.
They're really cute, and if you've ever like watched a fox pounce on its prey, they're so playful. Playful predators. But really, they're very clever, and they're super cute animals. So, okay, so let's talk about the illustrations for Animal Magic book. What was your process like creating the illustrations for the book?
Well, first I do like a little happy dance when I get the story for you, because it's like, hey, I got another book project, and it's always exciting and it's always fun for me. I mean, there's always ups and downs in the process, but like my initial thing is I'm just like happy because I get to do another book and I get to like share my artwork with kids, through a book. And I especially liked Animal Magic because of the things that the lessons that it was teaching to the kids, you know, and showing, you know, children that you don't have to be angry. You could be happy, you could be calm, you know, and not be sleepy. And actually I liked that one, the Chloe. Was it Chloe that was sleepy?
Maylin.
Oh, Maylin. Sorry, no, it was Maylin. That's right. Yes, Maylin.
Maylin.
Because it's like, I mean, I remember it reminded me of when I went to college and I fell asleep in class and the professor was right in front of me. And I'm like,
yes.
My hand slipped and I'm like, oh no, that was super embarrassing.
Yeah. Maylin is an interesting one for the with the sleepiness. And, you know, I've explained to the kids when I've read the story to them, you know, we all get sleepy. It's a normal human thing to be sleepy.
Yeah.
But it's sort of a metaphor. What we're really, what we're trying to build is awareness, right? So sometimes we're in sleepy states of awareness and sometimes we're in more alert. And so it's really kind of the giraffe being a very alert animal, being able to spy danger from far away. Is really kind of a metaphor for being just more alert and present and aware. So, yeah. Yes, and we've all had those moments like you just described of being in college and
I know,
tired in class, right?
Yeah, and like I'm like thinking, if only I had the giraffe with me in my class, that would have been nice, you know, like do a little animal magic and remind me like you need to be alert.
Yes. Yes, and it's funny because you can really, and like again we were talking about the imagination, you can really bring it in your imagination and somehow it helps you, right? From a kid's perspective, that could be so helpful. You know, you can just really let your imagination go there. But you know, the ultimate lesson of this whole book was that the magic is actually in you, right?
Yes, definitely.
The animals just represent aspects of ourselves, right?
Yeah.
Aspects of ourselves, archetypes.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, you know, the magic is in us because we're able to like bring that giraffe in our mind to help us calm it, you know, or bring any animal from the story to like remind us like, hey, this is how it works, you know, like this is what you need to do. And we
can choose any state of awareness we want. We have to believe that we have that power. And well, you know, in yoga, we teach breathing exercises. So breathing is a way to change your mood, right?
Yes.
So it's like, you know, take a deep breath. You automatically bring in some relaxation. And so that's another thing that we're teaching the kids with the yoga practice. We didn't, this book specifically did not get into breathing, but it's more the poses. But the point is that you can choose those states of awareness.
Yes. Sorry, I totally went like off topic about the giraffe and everything, but
no, you didn't go off topic. It was great. Perfect.
So back to the process after I get all excited.
Oh yeah, no problem.
About the book. So basically what I do is I like read through the manuscript and then I look at, you know, the characters. And so since the characters were all animals, I did a lot of research because, you know, we all know what a giraffe looks like or a dolphin, like in your mind. But then when you translate onto a paper, it's, you know, it's what you see in your mind. But you got to make it a little bit more realistic, you know, so it's more believable. People can look at it and be like, oh yeah, this is a dolphin. And so I do a lot of research on each animal so I can understand like what it does, how it moves and things like that. And it makes it a lot easier to actually draw the characters. And so after that, the first like actual drawing process would be doing like a thumbnail of each character. And sorry, I need to back up a little bit. Before I do the thumbnails of the character, I usually talk to the author, which is you, and I ask you, you know, like what you're looking for in each character, like the fairy, you know, like there's certain things that, you know, you want to have in there or certain things you're looking forward to have, you know, for the character. And so after I get all that information plus the research, then I do little thumbnails of the characters. And then after that, I put it into more like of a sketch and I send it over to you so you could look over it and make sure it looks okay. And then, you know, we make changes, you know, like there's always a lot of adjustments. And then after that, then I do some color for the characters, and then we go through that, and you tell me which one you like the most, and then that's when we kind of keep for like the characters. And then after we do the characters, we kind of go through the process of like drawing, like basically the entire story, like entire book. And it's a similar process. So we start off with like thumbnails, and they're kind of like scribbly, scratchy, kind of like very quick drawings, to like to get an idea of what it would look like, where like the placement of the things would be. And then after that, I send it over and talk about it and get an approval of which one you like the most. And then after that, we move on to like the drawing. So the drawing is basically me translating or transferring the thumbnail to the actual drawing. So the characters will be clear, and then like the backgrounds will be clear, like all the objects will be all clear. And then once that is approved, then we go into color. And so I color it in and make sure, this is the colors that you want. And then after colors, then that gets approved. And then we move on to like the actual painting. And we do all the pictures together all at once. So we'll go through all the drawings, all the color. And then after that, then we can actually see like how the whole book flows. Because maybe there's one part of the story or the picture is like, it's like not flowing. It looks kind of weird. Then, we can adjust it and change it. And then once everything looks good all together, then I move on to the process of painting. And I actually paint with acrylic. And I know it looks like a lot like watercolor, but it's a little different. I know people when they think of acrylic, they think of like the thicker paints,
Yes.
Right.
The craft paints.
Yeah, like craft.
That's what I think of.
Yeah, exactly. Like the craft paint or like, I think a lot of times like in high school, they use like the acrylic too, and it's like more plasticky paint too. Mm-hmm. So that's all high viscosity, but there is this other acrylic and it's low viscosity. So it's a little more transparent and it's like watercolor, but with this paint, like if you make a mistake, yes. You can't take water and like wash it out. And with regular acrylic, you could use white to like paint it out. But even with that, like it changes the effect of the paper and like the picture. So you have to be really careful. So like I would start off with like the light colors first, and then I just build up and add different layers. And that's why you could see like different colors, like in a color. So like in an ocean, it'd be like blue, but then there's like different other colors of blues in there, to make it a little bit more interesting.
Yes.
But it's like layers,
the depth, right? I mean, you can see like on your cover here, like,
yeah,
see the depth of the characters and just the shading and all that. And so every picture in here, you did watercolor painting, and that's not what a lot of books, I mean, there's some great digital art out there, really great digital art. Yes. But I really wanted you to do some watercolor, well, what we're calling watercolor, right? Acrylic.
Right, really.
And because I wanted, it to really capture that, the quality. And you definitely captured it in your paintings. And working with you through this process was educational for me. And I really enjoyed seeing it. And it's just like layers, right? Just like you described, the sketches, the, adding the color, getting approval, right? Testing them out, and then approving the color. And digitally we did that. You just tossed in some digital ones, and then we did the watercolor. So it was awesome. You did such an amazing job.
Thank you.
It was quite a process, but it was worth the time and the wait.
Yay.
So, and I know my process was slow on my end, so.
It really wasn't that slow.
So yeah. Thank you for sharing that. That's a lot of people don't know what goes into making a book, and it's a lot of work that you artists work very hard to capture the quality. And like I'm just going to show one. There's Maylin, and it's absolutely beautiful, the art.
Thank you.
So my next question is, are there animals? Well, what are the animals or children from the story that you relate to the most?
I would say like all of them too. Because I mean, at some point in my life or some point during the day, like I feel like one of those animals or those kids,
Yes.
But I think
they show up, right?
Yeah, they do. It's like, oh man, like I need the dolphin today, or I need the giraffe.
Like I'm feeling like Charles today.
Yeah.
I'm feeling like Chloe today. Yeah.
I would have to say the dolphin, like
yes,
I just love that it's like peace and harmony and happiness, and that's everything that I like, that I want to feel like every day if I could. And
yeah.
they're just peaceful animals and they're just beautiful. And I just love that when you look at them, they look like they're just smiling. Like, even if they're not happy, they're smiling,
Yes,
and I mean, yeah. And it's like, sometimes when I'm having a bad day, it's like, well, if I look at the dolphin, he's probably having a bad day, but he's still smiling,
yes.
And it kind of, reminds me like, it's okay to have a bad day. You could still be happy, just, positivity is like the thing.
Yeah, that's right. I feel the same way. Just choosing, you can choose your mood again, back to choosing your mood, inspired by the animals, that you're not stuck with that feeling or that state, right? We see the transformation in them, and here's the dolphin, we can change our mood, right?
Yep.
We can bring in whatever the medicine is we need at the time, sometimes we need those ocean vibes, the ocean energy to help calm us down, right?
Yes. But yeah, I love the vibe that you get when you're at the beach, because seriously, like, you walk onto the beach, you sit down and you look at the waves and you're like in your own world. Like, it just, I don't know what it does to you, but it just blocks everything out and you're like peaceful again and like happy,
Yeah, it grounds you, it helps keep you focused, resets you.
Yes. Yeah.
I was actually at the beach yesterday, and it was a nice recharge. I wasn't actually on the beach yesterday. I actually went on a walk through the bird sanctuary.
Oh,
so it was more like, I don't know what you call it, it's like a wetland almost.
Okay.
Where the water sort of like meets the land, and there's like all kinds of water there, but combined with like grasses and seaweeds and things.
Yeah.
And it's really recharging. So I get what you're saying. For me, as far as like what the animal that I relate to in the book, there's so many and it's so hard to pick. But I mean, even just from the story, it's hard to pick. But Chloe and the hummingbird, so hummingbird is the teacher of joy in this book. And, it's the hummingbird's lesson is to be less like the hyena's laugh, and of that type of joy that's not really, it's kind of what me and my students say is obnoxious. And being more like the hummingbird, which is like this true joy, because like I can have that hyena laugh too, and it's usually when we get that nervous energy where we're feeling a little hyper and we just need to like let some energy out. And that happened in my class this week, where there was lots of laughs and giggles, and to the point where it's a little bordering on the hyena type of too much fun and games, right?
Yes.
At some point we got to focus on our learning, but so the hummingbird teaches us how to be that way, but keep it what we call the hum. I like the hum of the classroom, where it's just right.
Yeah.
So anyway, I thought I'd share, since you
Yeah.
shared. I think it's fair that I shared that vulnerable part of myself.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Because being a teacher, like, I can only imagine how loud those, like, the hyena laugh can get. Yes. Like, I think it would drive me crazy. I mean, I don't know about how calm I could be, because I'd be like, oh my gosh, like, be quiet, everybody.
Nothing will test your emotions, your, like, children. They just,
yes,
nothing tests it. And it's one of those things, you just got to find the peace and the balance.
Yeah.
Because children are their wild creatures,
yes,
like the animals, and we want to maintain some of that naturalness without but yet with still being able to reach our goals, accomplish things, right? Or learn what we need to learn.
Yes.
So it's the balance between, the inner wild, the nature, and actually using that gift of what we already have in us naturally to be able to, bring a gift into the world, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
taming it. So
Yes.
channeling it, I guess, or putting it out there in a positive way. So
Yep.
yes. So all right, so let's get back on topic here. So let's see what else. So just we can wrap things up pretty quick here. So just wanted to hear from you about what you're working on, upcoming projects, anything currently that you're working on that you'd like to share.
Well, right now I'm working on like more art licensing artwork. So if you don't know what art licensing is, basically you do an image and then you license it out to like different companies or people, and then they use your image. I have one art licensing image that I'm working on, and it's going to be like more of a Christmas illustration.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm kind of excited for the holidays because I love the holidays, but I'm kind of like I'm holding on to summer because it's the end of August. It's still hot here.
Yes.
And so I'm like trying to be in holiday mood to like get my Jesus going for the picture. But then at the same time, like, oh man, I'm still like summer's still here. So like I kind of doing a little struggle on that, but I'm like excited about it because like I love Christmas. I love the holidays. It's fun. It makes you happy. And so yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing right now is just that work and then other art licensing artwork too.
Yes. Okay. And Alvina is also a published author. She has a book called Birdie Bear Goes Fishing, and she's illustrated many other, and I think you've authored other books too, but you've illustrated so many other books. So look her up. Is your website alvina.com?
It's just Alvina Kwong. Yeah.
Yeah, alvinakwong.com, right? It's a .com?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
So just wanted to put that out there. If you can look up her work, you can see all the amazing stuff. It's all listed there on her website. And Alvina, before we go, are there any last thoughts or things that you would like to share with our listeners?
I would say like never give up, like always follow your heart, follow your dream, and just work hard. Like even if it's really hard and difficult, like don't give up. Like that's the biggest thing for me because it helped me get to where I am now. And it's Birdie Bear from the book, like Birdie Bear doesn't give up. And
Yes.
that's kind of like why I wrote that book too, and illustrated because it's, I just want people to, not give up on things, have hope and follow your dreams and work hard.
That's such a good message. Absolutely. Everything that we see in the world has been the hard work and effort of something. And you have made a very, successful career from doing what you love, following your passion. You had a passion for art since you were a little girl, and you've been able to actually make a career out of that. And that is absolutely amazing. And your work is amazing. So good advice. Listen to Alvina. Stay with it, and follow that passion and do what you love.
Yep.
So, well, thank you for joining us. I just want to share with our listeners that you can get Animal Magic book on Amazon. It's available through other retailers too, Barnes and Noble. If you do a little search, you'll find it there's many book distributors that have picked it up. So take a look at Animal Magic book and Alvina's amazing illustrations. And thank you. It's been such a joy and awesome collaborating with you, working with you. I wanted to give you free reign to and freedom to help create this book and collaborate on it and I wanted to give you a little bit of room to do that. And you definitely, I'm glad I trusted you to just kind of take the reins on that, and because you did such an amazing job. So thank you so much. Really grateful for you.
Thank you. Thank you. I had a lot of fun and you gave me a lot of free reign. So like, it's definitely greatly appreciated too. And
yeah,
thank you. It was a lot of fun working with you and just creating the book. And yeah, it was it's just fun. Like,
Yeah, it's fun. It is fun. It's I've had a lot of fun on this authoring journey as well. I've learned a lot, and now I'm like, oh my goodness, I could do this again. Not soon, but I'm not ready to do it just yet. But now I know the process, and it's been so much fun. So thank you for sharing that journey with me.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Okay. All right, Alvina. Well, I'll see you later. Have a good
Okay.
day.
Bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.